Well, hello there, and welcome to this week's Grow Wealthy Grooming. I'm your host, River Lee, and I want to welcome you to this week's Grow Wealthy Grooming. Says it all, right? Thank you guys for your patience. I just got in from South Carolina. I got to hang out with the amazing Danelle German. If you don't know her, you've got to learn about her. She founded the National Cat Groomers Institute of America, and she teaches people how to be badass cat groomers. I also got to hang out with Hanvey Engineering. They create the world's best mobile grooming vans. Hey, Peter, how are you? So it is a wine kind of night. And I want to talk about today's topic. For those of you guys that are new or you don't know who I am, and shame on you if you don't, my name is River Lee. I am the founder of the Savvy Groomer, where I teach groomers about personal finance, how to make their money work for them, and how to have a business that they love. So let's go ahead into today's topic. Listen to your market. So I thought this would be a fun topic for today. And you're going to have to forgive me. I've been up since 3:15 today. I had to, it was beautiful. I was on this beautiful lake, but I had to get up, drive through the wilderness in South Carolina to get my flight. And here I am. So I'm going to be a little heavy on my notes today, but you'll just have to forgive me. And as always, if you guys are watching live in the groups, please feel free to hop onto YouTube. On YouTube, I see the comments live. On Facebook, I don't see your comments till afterwards. So if you'd like to participate live, I would highly suggest you hop on YouTube. If you're just enjoying the live, please feel free to do that on Facebook. All right, let me go find my notes. I had them up, but you know how that goes. There it is. Bloop, bloop. All right, so let me get that all situated. All right, so let me move that here. That way I can see the pop-up chat too. All right, if there's one thing that holds promising entrepreneurs back from launching their grooming business, it's this: a lack of confidence in their skills beyond grooming. Sure, you think that we can make more money just grooming for yourself, right? And I'm going to really quickly go off my notes. Everybody thinks that you're automatically going to make more money grooming by yourself. That's not necessarily true. You have to make sure that you think about, how you're going to make more money. For instance, so imagine spending weeks, months, or even years of time plus the cost of a salon build out, or in like the place with Hanvey, a grooming van. You're going to buy marketing materials, grooming supplies, and all the other pieces that go along with it. A lot of you guys, when you're building the salon or you're building your mobile, you think all you're going to need is some shampoo, your clippers, your blades, your scissors. But it's only for you to discover that it's not your soulmate client wants or needs. How frustrating would that be? So a lot of times what happens with you guys is that you're like, all I need is this. I see this happen all the time in groups. People are going to say something to the effect of, oh, how much is it for a salon build out, right? And they're like 10 grand or 20 grand. And they're like, okay, I need that. I already have my clippers. I already have my scissors. I already have my blades. That's all I need, right? You don't have to leave it to chance. There are plenty of ways to test your idea before spending the time, the energy, and the money before going out on your own. It's not just put your sign out and people are going to automatically come and work with you or even have the right kind of clients. So go ahead and ask and listen. This is the simplest way to get a feel for what your market needs and wants. Simply ask them in a casual conversation. If you guys are working in a shop currently that is on par with what you want, maybe not quite in the same area, but has a similar clientele. Or maybe they have one of the clientele that you would really like. I know at the doggy daycare that I used to manage, there were some clients that would be my ideal client. for when I had my shop. But a lot of the clients would have never been my client. So it's important to ask the clients that would be your ideal or your soulmate client. Okay? And again, depending upon when you work or who you work for, this may be difficult. So don't do this if you don't have permission. All right, guys? Some of you guys have great relationships with your boss, and you can ask them, say, hey, is it okay? You know, I'm going to go out on my own mobile, which are not going to be competitioned, right? Can I ask? And there's ways to just kind of listen and get insight that way too, especially if you have an open air salon. Okay? So for best results, keep it short, but do ask why they chose the salon. Was it location, reputation, atmosphere? What was it that made them pick that salon? Okay? Their preferred way of contact. A lot of you guys don't even begin to think about that. Do they prefer email, text message, phone calls? All of my clients at this point are through text message. And I do occasionally call some people, but I don't call any new clients. But if you have a client who really likes a phone call, that's a very different client than a client who is going to just want to text you really quick. For instance, with my son, I really want someone who's going to call me. I have questions about him. I want to know how he's doing. But with my dog, I love her. But I'm perfectly happy booking online, writing down what I want for a haircut, dropping her off, getting what I paid for, picking her up. We don't need to have any more conversation than that and some text messages. So it's important to know how they like to be talked to. Do they feel they receive good value for money? We always talk about price what you're worth, but we never ask is do they feel like they're getting value? Not if it's a good price, but is it a good value? These are two different things. For instance, if I buy a car, and I know guys are more like this anyway, but if I buy a car, like my car was $42,000. I got every bell and whistle. To me, I got a good value for what I paid. However, somebody else may be like, that was a lot of money, and for what I would want for $40,000, I'd rather get something totally different. So was it a good value? And then, these three pieces will give you insights to your soulmate client. It's really important that you know why they pick people, because it's almost never the haircut. Clients very rarely know the difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut until they've had both. So the only people that come for a good haircut are generally people who had really bad haircuts and then had one good haircut and now they want to keep going. But they generally go with the groomer that it happened to. So for instance, somebody who worked at Petco and then they got better. They started that you start as a Petco groomer, being a baby groomer, you get better. And let's say that Petco groomer then opens their own shop. They might follow that person because they don't like the way those other people at Petco groom, right? So they may pick it because of that. But it's very rarely that they come because they want competition level grooming. And you have to be very careful if you want somebody with competition level grooming. It really needs to be a part of your brand. And you guys have heard me talk about Sarah Druin. Sarah Druin, who has Plush, and I believe right now she has a workshop. She's an amazing groomer. And her branding is on point. Her customers want that. And that's great. That's what they're paying for. They want that look. And that's her brand. And that's perfect. But if you're like my brand, I was a mediocre dog groomer. But my customer service was on point, and my clients knew that I was consistent. And for me, it was all about the holistic side, organic shampoo. And then we always put the pet first. And it's not that we didn't, those other people didn't. It was just more of that was our marketing. Versus we didn't do a bad haircut. We didn't market as hey, we're really nice, but we do a crap haircut. We just spotlighted what we felt like was the marketable aspect of our business. Make sure you're communicating in the way that they want. There's no point and emailing a client that's never reading their emails. And again, remember, good value for their money. It doesn't matter if you have 3 groomers for $65, right? For a Shih Tzu. Somebody could feel like that's expensive for what I got, and someone could say, man, that was a deal. So you want to figure that out. Okay, so let's talk about unfulfilled requests. If you have a community or you're part of one of ideal clients, pay attention to what they're asking about the most. These are the things in the market they're searching for. For example, if you're a groomer who enjoys grooming cats and your shop gets calls all day long for cats, clearly there's a need for a cat groomer in the area. I cannot tell you how many people think you can't go feline exclusive when they turn away a lot of cat calls, which I guess sounds weird, or they have 1 cat day a month and it gets full. And then they have 1 cat day a week and that could get full. So listen to the market. If you love grooming doodles and you're one of those groomers and you get calls all day about doodles that you can't fit in or the salon couldn't fit in, what are people looking for? Are they looking for breed cuts? What is it that they are looking for someone to do? And you can fill that hole in the market. You guys know that, I always say riches are in the niches. So, are they looking for mobile? A lot of people are looking, especially now with COVID, they're looking for someone to come to their house so they don't have to worry about it. Are they looking for somebody who is proficient in hand stripping? You could be in an area where there's a lot of terriers. Cat grooming is another one. Are they looking for something simple like a membership model? I couldn't tell you in my area when I had my shop, we had a membership model. It's because all those little old Italian ladies would go every Friday to get their hair in hot rollers and they'd drop the dog off because it was already part of the routine for them to go. And then they would go. So the dog would get a bath once a week and a haircut once a month. And so it was just part of their routine and they were looking for something that fit their lifestyle. And that's where we were able to fit a hole in the market because nobody else in the area was doing that. Right? I want you guys to go ahead and study your competition. Now, I definitely believe in community over competition. I hate using the word competition because to me, we all offer different things to different people and it can get a little confusing. But what I want you to say is that hopefully you have a list of your competitors, right, in your area. You should have at least, depending upon your area, like mine, we have a lot. I would say there's got to be at least 15 or 20 mobiles in my state, right? But, go ahead, write them down. Go ahead and start following them on Facebook. Pay attention to their salon reviews. This is a great way for you to gain insight into what they're doing. It's not to copy them, but discover what's working and what's not. Learn what they may like to do and what they seem to avoid. Consider reaching out to them, guys. I can't tell you, when I had my shop, I didn't really reach out to any local groomers because it was very much competition. I had 6 grooming salons in 2 miles. It was a lot of competition. And we viewed each other's competition. It was pretty cutthroat. Like if somebody came into the shop, and I'm not proud to admit this, but if someone came into the shop and said, oh yeah, we have an appointment today at whatever time, it's Fluffy, I'd be like, well, we don't have you in the book, but you're here, so we'll just do you. And I'm not really proud of that. Now I have a much more community over competition mindset. I would have called the other groomer and said, hey, do you still want them or should I take them? And that's the thing too, is that you don't have to copy them, but you can start to create potential professional relationships with them. I have a relationship with a bunch of groomers in my area because groomers in my area really don't want to do cats. And even if they do want to do cats, they don't do cats like I do cats. They don't offer the same things I do. There's very few mobile cat groomers in my area. There are very few cat groomers in general. So when I tell them, hey, I do cats, a lot of them are like, phew, good, take them, please. And it's great. And guess what? The once-a-year cats that I can't take, guess what? I don't want them anyway. So it's great to know who I can refer to, right? You really should always try to attempt community over competition mindset. We're very rarely competing over, like I said, the same clients. And encouraging clients to stick with one groomer is a lot easier when everyone knows each other on friendly terms. And if that was one thing I wish I could turn back the clock and change about what I owned my shop. I wish I had really personally known, or at least tried to personally know the groomers in my area, and just said, hey, you know what? I don't like doing this. And I would always refer certain clients. Like I had no intention of doing breed standard cuts. We had a famous grooming judge less than a mile from us. Why would I be doing a Kerry Blue when I'm doing the customer a disservice when I can send them down the street? That seems silly to me. Like, can I do it? I can follow notes from the grooming table. I can follow that. Is it going to be as good? Absolutely not. And so it was just a good opportunity. Okay, guys. Another thing I want you to consider is to set the bar on minimum services. So creating services in a vacuum is a great way to waste a lot of time and money on services that don't actually make you money. Instead, pay attention to what your market is asking for, or find out what they're willing to pay and break down per hour what you need to charge. If you need to charge $50 an hour to run your shop, but you charge $10 for a 15-minute nail trim, it's time to charge more. Stop offering that service as a standalone. The same goes for large breed dogs who aren't being charged the same hourly rate as small dogs. If a Shih Tzu takes you an hour and is charged $50, I have to charge a minimum of $100 for a Husky D-shed that takes 2 hours. Again, a lot of you guys will be like, well, I can do the Husky in an hour. Okay, maybe you can, but can your groomer? There are certain things that we as skilled, seasoned groomers are not bad, but our staff is not there. Like I always tell people, I can do, like everyone knows, dematting and de-shedding, my 2 superpowers. I don't know why, they just are. I can demat literally anything and no brush burn, no nothing. That's just a skill set I have. But for me to demat an entire dog takes significantly less time than it would for any of my employees. So I have to charge not on me, because unless I want to be a solopreneur forever, if you want to own your shop forever, just you, based on your skill set, if you have any inclination they're going to hire somebody or have to train somebody, you have to do it based on what is realistic. The best example I can have for you is that I'm kind of a lazy groomer. Some of you guys know that. I hate to admit it, but I have to be real. Like, you guys know, I will always be real. I wish I was a power groomer. I'm really not. And I've been grooming over 10 years. I got carpal tunnel. I'm getting old. Like, it's crazy. In my 30s, I'm old for a groomer. I'm not old for a groomer. I'm just old because I beat up my body. I didn't take good care of it. So when I'm basing my prices, especially mobile, I'm basing them on 5 pets a day. Why? Because 5 is a good number for me. I can do 5 pets a day and go home and be able to spend time with my kid. I do 5 pets a day and not feel like I'm dying. I have a coaching client who does 10 to 15 cats, bath, blow dry, line cuts, anything like that. She's a machine, absolute machine. Now, see, part of our coaching was, and if you guys are interested in my coaching, just so you know, I do offer one-on-one business coaching. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in the outro, but it's a really good investment. Sarah is an amazing power groomer. She can groom 10, 15 cats a day. And so she had based her prices on 10 or 15 cats. What she was finding, though, is being open 5-6 days a week and wanting to add staff, she couldn't. There was nobody who could do as many cats as her. Now, she could train someone to do that. But where she lives in Australia, it's $25 an hour minimum wage. So if someone who's going to learn how to cat groom, that's a lot of money. You're talking $30-$40 an hour. And if they're not producing like she's producing, she's not going to get any return on her investment. So we said, okay, How about instead of basing it on 10 cats, how about we think about what the average cat groomer can do? And a basic cat groomer can do 5 cats a day. Now, as you get better and faster, absolutely I could do 6 to 9. Could I ever do 10? Probably not. It would be a stretch for me to consistently do 10 cats a day. So we reworked her numbers. We based it upon that. And now for her business model, we ended up going on a membership model. And we did that is because she still wanted to do the 10 cats a day. She liked the busyness of it. It just really fit her personal mantra. It was just the kind of energy she loved. But what we did is that we based the pricing on about 6 or 7 cats. We increased her prices, sometimes by a lot. And what we did is we required them to pay a monthly fee. So that cat is either getting groomed once a month, or they paid for 2 months and now she's basically doing double the work, but she already got double the pay. And so she guaranteed all that income. So it fit her business model. And now she's doing 10 cats a day. She's getting a lot more. It also allowed her to take some days off. Instead of working 5 or 6, she can now work 3 or 4. And because she teaches cat grooming, on the days that she doesn't have a student, she can do 10. On days she does have a student, she can only do 3 or 4, because most people just starting to learn cat grooming will only do 3 or 4. So then she can balance it out, but she knows how much money she's making. And there's so many creative things we can do in our business that you can't even scratch the surface. I wish I could talk about it sometimes in more depth, but it's hard on these lives. But it's really fun. It's really fun. So, with the information you gain from all of these activities, alone should give you incredible insight into your market and what they want and need, So if you're considering going out on your own, or if you're considering reshuffling what you have, don't be afraid to do that. And sometimes you guys have the makings of a great business. You're just kind of busy trying to everything. It kind of reminds me of people that are always trying the newest product. And I'm not talking necessarily shampoo and everything. The person that's oh, I want to try a hair vac. Oh, I want to try a Furminator. Oh, I want to do a rake and vac. I want to do this. I want to do that. You never have time to master anything. So you really need to go, okay. And again, I teach this in my zone of genius. Find out what you're good at. Are you the artist where you're going to focus on grooming and be the solopreneur and have a very small micro business, which is fine, but you just got to make sure you're pricing boutique wise. Are you the manager where you're going to have, other groomers and you're going to help grow them and kind of be the maestro in your business? Or are you the classic entrepreneur? I'm an entrepreneur. I like the big picture. I like being what can we do now? What can we do better? And it's just figuring out who you are naturally and stepping into your strength instead of trying to fight against it. I can't tell you how unhappy I was trying to be the groomer, not because I didn't love grooming, but because I'd always want to focus on the entrepreneurial side. And I got so tired just grooming when I was in my shop, hours and hours and hours and hours, and not having time to be able to grow the business, because that's what made me the most happy. So feel free to consider all of that. I want you guys to actually listen to the market. What does it want? What doesn't it want? A lot of times you guys are trying to sell stuff to people they don't want, and a lot of it's all buzzwords anyway. Oh, why do people pay you? If I ask you right now, I would love if you guys want to type it in the comments. Otherwise, I have examples. If you were to ask your customers why they pick you, most groomers will say, I give the best haircut. Okay. Well, groomers can look at a haircut and know what competition level haircutting is, right? It's like the doodle person that you do a fantastic haircut on and they wanted that shaggy look. Did they come for the best haircut? That is completely subjective. We know what a good haircut looks like. They know the haircut they like, We will say we use the best products. Well, that's relative. For somebody, is that Le Pooch? Is that Advet? Is that, it's not St. Bernard's. I always say it wrong. What product is that you're saying is the best? Because if I ask a Petco groomer, they're going to say Tropiclean because they think Esprit is shit. And they've tried Tropiclean one time and they said, man, this is way better. And again, it's relative. And the products are always changing. I used to use Royal Treatment. I don't even know if it's still on the market. To me, that was the best product. But is that better or worse than Le Pooch? That's irrelevant. But if there's 6 groomers in 2 miles and we all say we use the best products, customers don't know what the truth is. Another thing people will tell you is, groomers will tell me the reason the clients pick them, besides products and haircut, is they have the most education. Except guess what? They don't understand why that's important. If I go in for a haircut or to get coloring, so I get my hair's balayaged, do I care if my hairdresser goes every 3 months to do some sort of class? Not really. I just care about the finished product, don't I? I just want to know she's not going to jack up my hair. Do I care if she goes every 3 months, 6 months, once a year, or never goes again? Not really. I just want to know she's not going to jack up my hair. Right? And most of the time, I'm not going to know she jacked up my hair till I see a really good one. And I do have a really good hairdresser. But until I have a bad experience, I'm not going to know what a good one is. Because I'm going to assume they're all like that. And we've all seen like the bad ombre where it's like blonde and then dark. That's bad. But somebody might be getting that for 4 or 5 years and thinking they're getting a really cute coloring until they get someone who makes it really beautiful and blended. And then they're like, crap, I've been getting a crap color for the last however many years. Hey, I think that's Erin. How are you, dear? So a lot of times you guys are saying education, and customers very, very rarely know that we are not licensed. Very rarely do they understand that. You have to be licensed. You have to get a license to go fishing. I mean, you have to get a license to be a nail tech, eyelashes, hair. It would seem wild to them that you didn't need for grooming. So they're under the assumption that we're all licensed. And that makes it so when you say education, they don't understand what that means. And again, as somebody who's a certified feline master groomer, I will hear people say, no, I've been training cats. And I'm like, oh yeah? Yeah, you've been training cats? And they'll be like, yeah, I passed Petco certification. So they will say they've been certified in cats. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. And when I'm certified, and there's another certification for cats that I don't think is the same. When I see the consistent results of a CFMG, it's really impressive. We're allowed to sell cat hair because we're able to tell basic signs of health, and they trust us. That is a sign of, but if I asked a regular client, they wouldn't know what that means. They can see my work and it speaks for itself, but that's only because there's such shit cat grooms. There are not as many shit dog grooms as there are shit cat grooms. Most of you guys don't even wash them with water. So it's a lot easier for them to see that. So I want you to think instead, if I'm a customer, why would I purchase your services? How do you bring value? Not over somebody else, but as a customer, what is it that I want? I'll tell you what most people honestly want. Consistency. I want to know that every time I come in, my dog is going to look the same way unless if I ask otherwise. I want to know my pet is safe. I want to know that they're going to come home alive and not cut up and not chemically burned, not with an issue. I want to know that, it's going to be what's included. I cannot tell you how many times you guys aren't clear on your communication with what is included in the groom. And that's the other thing. I want to feel for me. But see, then there's different things that make people feel welcome. Part of the reason I go to Starbucks is because when I walk in, they say, "Hey, River, how's your day? How many cats you got?" When you feel special for someone like me, I'm happy to do that. I want to be at a place that makes me feel like I'm part of the community. A lot of clients don't. Depends on your client. And you have to figure that out. And again, it's all about listening to your market. So, again, what was today's topic? It's all about listening to your market, guys. It's so important. I can't tell you how often you guys are wondering why the things you're doing aren't working, wondering why you keep getting the wrong clients. Because it's not like you don't have clients, it's that you have the wrong clients. You have to actually pay attention to understand why these clients aren't the right ones. Let me go to So guys, with that said, if you want to consider working with me, there are 3 main ways. I offer one-on-one coaching, and that is both for finance and business. So if you're looking to try to figure out what it is that you do best, how to listen to your market, or if you need someone to help you interpret what your market is seeking, consider signing up for my one-on-one coaching. It is the best value is the $9.97 a month. We do have larger packages. I always prefer everyone to start monthly. And then if you want to do a 6-month or a year package, then we can talk about that. But I want to make sure that you are at a place that you are ready for that kind of commitment. Alternatively, if you just want some more business knowledge, and I know you guys love these lives and you get a lot out of them, but let me tell you, an hour each, it's about anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour and a half class every single month in our Grow Wealthy Grooming membership. You get access to that live workshop we are doing next Sunday, actually, on autopilot, where we're going to talk about ways to run your business on autopilot. And that is only $35. You'll get the live class as well as any replays of any old classes. So it's nice to have that entire library. Also, you will have access to Personal Finance on a Leash. So Personal Finance Leash is a 12-week online course where we teach you how to get your personal finances together. Right now, we are on week 2. So if you'd like to join and jump in, it's a great time to go ahead and jump in. This year, anyone who purchases Personal Finance on a Leash, you will get an entire year for free of our new credit repair and super savings group coaching that is starting next year. That's going to be a big deal. You're going to save over $1,000 next year by signing up this year. The best way to pay for Personal Finance on a Leash is your $199 for 3 months. It's a great deal. You go ahead and get on that. And we start you with your personal finances, because a lot of you guys, what happens is that you keep saying, "Oh, I've got to raise my prices." And what you're really saying is, "I don't know where the hell my money is going." So we try to get your money under control, because once that's under control, then we can really figure out how much money we have to play with working on your budget in your business. Do we have money to market? Do we have money to do this? Do we have money to do that? Can we sometimes I've actually increased prices by $20 to $40 per pet, because that's what they need. That's how low they were. But we have to make sure you're financially okay and know the numbers, not just in your business, but more importantly in your life. It's really hard to make choices in your business when you're basically running out of money. Alternatively, there was a student of mine named Paige who paid off $14,000 in the 12 weeks she was taking the class. You know, you never know where that money is going. So by getting on a budget, it's going to really help. So I would highly suggest you sign up. You go to my website, savvygroomer.com. You'll see the 3 options. Go ahead and pick the one that works best for you. I'm here for you when you guys are ready. I can't wait to help you guys out. Now, if you're not quite ready to invest in yourself, then go ahead and join me in my free Facebook group, Savvy Pet Professionals. You know, that's where we live stream this, as well as, you know, I post relevant blog articles. You know, you guys are welcome to network and talk, and it's a really safe community. My goal for you guys is to feel comfortable and feel like there's a place that isn't going to allow all the crazy advice. Sometimes I go in Facebook groups and I'm like, what is going on here? This is crazy banana stuff. Anyway, guys, it is always lovely to see you and talk to you. I hope you guys are enjoying, well, here it's kind of fall weather. It's kind of getting chilly. I'm not ready for winter, guys. I'm not ready. It was great talking with you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing you in my group or in my classes. All right, guys. Happy grooming.